Alertwolf here to bring you another anime review. This time I'm doing it on Ushio and Tora, episode 24, The Fools Gather at the Banquet. Alright, now, basically the episode starts off, Ushio's sick, and Asako goes to bring him some food, some soup and whatnot, and Mayuko, there we go, nailed it, I am good. Mayuko, she decides that she's not going to go with her friend, and she's going to let her have her alone time with what's-his-face. And Tora's there, and he's like, this is ridiculous, and he's there because she promised to feed him some crab cakes, and whether he likes to admit it or not, he's become her cat too. And it's a weird episode because it's just them, right? This is a Tora Mayuko episode, and it is weird that they had their own little outing, her and her kitty friend. It kind of reminds me of the way she's blissfully ignorant. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Starfire, but he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna eat you," and then she's like, "Da da 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 da," and she keeps going doing her thing. Basically, there's a demon team that are eating people's brains by putting their tongue in there. It's really weird. Because they want a certain question answered, and she was selected to have a free dinner, but really it was the trap set by these guys to answer the question. And if you answer the question right or wrong, they suck your brain. And if you answer it right, they're gonna agree with you and then probably suck your brain. So, and basically, it was. It was pretty funny, this episode. It was pretty cute, because he pretends like he doesn't really like her. I'm gonna eat her. She keeps giving her food, and she constantly saves him. And she's letting it on that she has powers because she can always sense when he's there. Now, Tora does something interesting in this episode as he transforms into her as a copy. So we didn't know he was capable of doing that. We also get a lot of costumes changes out of her throughout it. So she has clothes when she goes out. During the battle she puts on a wedding gown, and so she's wearing wedding clothes. And she tries to see if Tora would agree to marry her, just going through the gimmick. As they fight, and one of the demons is a snake, and the other demon is a toad. So it's a pretty cool dynamic there, snake and the toad. And throughout the thing, Tora even makes her like hot and sexy clothing out of his hair, which is a little weird, but And basically the question posed by us is, why is it some humans can have a meaningful death, and how could they sacrifice themselves? And it's like, how can you sacrifice yourself for somebody else? The whole purpose of living is survival, so they don't get it. And Tora doesn't get it, but he does. He just doesn't like to admit it. Thinks they're being idiots. And together they stood a chance against Tora, but separately they kind of didn't. And so he was able to beat them. And she had some moments of bravery and did her thing and kind of self-sacrificed. And the toad at the end finally got it before Tora excommunicated his ass and saved her. There was some funniness at the end of the episode because they're like, "What are you wearing?" And she's like, "Oh, just some clothes Tora made out of his hair." And Yushi was like, "What'd you do to her? Like if you banged her or something?" It was funny. And he also admitted that I'll agree to the vows with you as long as you let me eat me. I'll agree with them 100 times. Like, you licked her blood. He's like, "Oh, so tasty." Like when he saw her in her wedding dress, he thought the hamburgers look this good dressed up. Their dynamic is fun because the way they've nailed Tora's character being a cat. And I've said this before, but he's a fucking cat, right? He's like your house cat that doesn't really like you, but grows to like you, and that's and you know, and she's the typical like little girl who loves her cat, even though he's like, yeah, I'm gonna claw you. You don't even know. I'm gonna claw you in your sleep, and then she keeps giving him treats, and he's like, well, I'll claw you later, kitty. So it's that type of. I mean, I know I'm a dude here that's not too masculine sounding out of me, but it's that type of vibe that they've mastered. I mean, even his relationship with Ushio, again, it's took you and your alley house cat that you took in, and that's what he is. He's the alley cat you took in, and it's now your cat. You know, cats are crazy, but it's that, and they'll claw you when you least expect it. But it's that type of relationship that they've nailed so perfectly in the vibe of the show that really makes it good and feel authentic. They don't go over the board with the meow stuff, or he actually, other than his shape, doesn't do any real, except for some of his poses, no super real cat stuff. But, his character is so dead on, and it was fun and interesting, and he finally learned her name. And you know what? It was funny. He finally learned her name, and I was like, I've been the two main female characters of the show. For some reason, I would always blank out on their names. So, I figure if Tora can do it, then so can I, as your esteemed reviewer. So what am I going to do this episode? I thought it was cute. I thought it was a 3 out of 5. It was a good episode. It was a filler. Nothing really happened, but we got to see their characters bond more. Didn't advance the story. No, with the exception of one new power, no new revelations were made. But it was just good. But there's nothing else. That's it. Nothing really more in depth I could get into this episode. So that is enough out of me. Click it up if you like it. Comment if you must. And please subscribe if you can. And, share the video. Share the love. Keep it growing and going and all that goodness. Share the video if you can. Turn some new people onto it. Let's grow this channel together. You and me, we can do it. All right.